Joining me right now is Texas Congressman Roger Williams. And Congressman, it's good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you.
Do you agree that this attempted push to abolish ICE will actually hurt the Democrats in the midterms?
Well, it certainly can't help them, for crying out loud. I mean, if you can't support your ICE agents and your law enforcement agents, who can you support? I mean, we've got to secure our borders. We've got to protect our sovereignty, all that sort of thing. And that vote they took yesterday was surprising because those that vote present, they're not representing their district. So I think it will hurt them come November.
Well, why did they vote present when we know that present basically means no?
Well, present means you're not even there. I mean, it's present, but you're not there, and you're elected to represent your district, and you're not representing anyone when you vote present. And I think it's.
But how do you justify that? How do you justify voting present?
Well, I never voted present, so I don't know that I can justify it. It's a chicken way out is the only way I know we can put it.
So, I mean, what was the point of that vote last night? Was that basically to just shine a light on who supports ICE and who doesn't?
Well, I think it was a vote to show the American people and show law enforcement and the ICE folks that we do support them. America is behind them and what they're doing. And the vote, of course, yesterday with the present votes and so forth was, I think, a kick in the teeth to them. So I'm glad we took the vote. It shows that we, as conservatives, Republicans, we support what they're doing, and we'll continue to do so.
You know, it's really extraordinary to me that you have all of these issues on the Republican side: taxes, securing the borders, foreign policy changes, keeping our allies, fair on trade. And yet on the Democratic side, I don't understand what their message is other than I'm present, other than I'm resisting President Trump.
Well, I think so. I mean, they dislike this president so bad that I think they'd rather see America fail than him to get any credit for anything. But he is getting credit. I mean, I'm a business person for 47 years. Main Street America is doing great. Unemployment's down. GDP is up. Our military has got a positive tone to them. So he's doing a lot of things, and he's doing a lot of things that affect all the districts in America, including those represented by Democrats.
So House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Kevin Brady revealed some of the details of this plan of a next wave of tax cuts for Americans with the hopes of a vote by September. Chairman Brady said that he's working on further reducing the corporate tax rate, possibly to 20%, but that phase 2 is really about American workers and small business owners and making those tax cuts for individuals permanent. Here's what he said on this program yesterday.
We are able to do long-term for individuals in our small businesses, but not permanent. We want to go right back to there. So it increases growth over time. Long run, about 1.5 million new jobs, increases paychecks almost 1%. It increases growth again long term. That's, we think, critical to growth in the U.S.
So, Congressman, you have experience as a small business owner. You just told us. What do you want to see in this new tax bill that actually could impact small business?
Well, I think we've come a long way. There's still more to come. I do think it's important to make it permanent so businesses can plan. But, I'd like the 401ks, the idea of having people be able to save money is great. I'd like to see us take a look at capital gains and dividends and bring it back down to 15%. I've talked about cutting payroll tax in half for the employee and the employer to put more money in the system. So there are things to do. But I can tell you, being in business for 47 years, the economy is as good as I've seen it. And the feeling of small business owners, the ability to take risk and reward is back in America. And that's what really makes America strong.
Well, we're just getting news out that Comcast will not actually come out with another bid for the Fox Entertainment assets. There's been a bidding war, obviously, for the Fox Entertainment assets, and Disney raised its bid, and now people were focused on Comcast to see if Comcast was going to raise its bid as well. Actually, Comcast is saying it will not pursue another higher bid for Fox assets. What can you tell us about this Department of Justice and really what you're seeing in terms of deal making out there today?
Well, people are making deals. I mean, when you have your taxes, what we've lowered them, corporate tax down to 21%, talking about capital gains and so forth, people are making deals. I mean, I'm a deal maker. President Trump is a deal maker. We're seeing new business startups. The great thing that we've done is relieve community banks of a lot of regulations they had over their head that kept people from loaning money to the small business startups and so forth. So this is a great time to start a business. It's a great time to make money. It's a great time to create capital and reinvest in this country and in people.
And Comcast says in instead it's going to pursue the Sky acquisition, and it will not pursue the bid with a higher bid for the Fox assets. Again, at this point, it looks like the entertainment assets of Fox will ultimately go with Disney as expected, as Comcast is now announcing it will not make a higher bid for the Fox assets and instead focus on an offer for Sky. Let me get your take on this, Congressman, because oil production, if Texas oil production maintains its current pace, the United States becomes the world's largest oil producer by the fall. That surpasses Russia. It surpasses Saudi Arabia. It's according to HSBC Investment Bank. Your response, what can you tell us in terms of the production potential coming out of Texas?
Well, as you said earlier, don't mess with Texas. And we've got great production. You've got the Eagle Ford. You've got the Permian Basin. They're redefining all those plays and all over the state. So Texas is producing, and it's going to be a big producer. And I think I saw something the other day that we would be the third largest producer in the world, and we are right now. So we've got great opportunity in Texas. And I remind your listeners, no personal income tax in Texas. So everybody's welcome in this great state. Yeah,
I mean, how are things going right now in terms of economic growth in Texas? And give us a sense of how much that's due to oil production.
Well, you know, Texas has a history of having oil production drive a lot of our economy, but we're also very diverse. I mean, since Governor Bush and Governor Perry and Abbott, we brought a lot of business in from around the country, primarily California. So we're seeing a lot of job growth. We're seeing a lot of startup companies, and it's being fueled in many cases by energy, but also by the opportunity, like I said, with no personal income tax, a very business-friendly state that wants businesses to come and start up. And so we're doing great things in the state, and we're going to do some other things, too, that I think will impress not only America, but the world.
But then there's trade, and then there's tariffs, Congressman, and you know the debate around this. Do you think we will actually see tariffs on imported autos, or is this just a negotiation that the president is putting out there? There's a real debate about whether or not this takes away economic growth and causes job cuts.
Well, I'm concerned about tariffs. I've never supported tariffs. We've got the tax cuts that people have realized, and tariffs create an increase of cost of goods sold. I don't think that's good. So I hope that we consider other alternatives. Of course, the great thing is do away with tariffs. I had a great visit with Secretary Ross the other day about tariffs versus quotas, for example. But I think that with the tax cuts we've done, with regulations, reducing regulations, our economy is the greatest in the world. And if you let Americans compete, we're going to win. So I hope the tariff thing, especially on automobiles and other goods, is reconsidered, because it is a cost in raising goods sold, and it's a tax increase.
Yeah, I know, but we don't know if it's actually going to happen or not. At some point, does this uncertainty of will it happen or not, does that impact economic growth as well, the uncertainty factor?
Well, I think it does. I mean, people worry, are they going to be able to afford something or not? I know in the automobile business, we're concerned about what the price of cars may go to, because that doesn't necessarily, the sales dollars does not increase gross margins. It's more money for the consumer. So there is a concern there, but I think President Trump is a great negotiator. I think a lot of this could be in his way of negotiating other things down. I hope so. But tariffs are not what I would support right now.
All right, Congressman, good to see you this morning. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon. Congressman Roger Williams there.